When I save this, or when I archive this, I'm just going to cut out the entire
First 5 minutes?
first 5 minutes of this stream,
Okay.
and we're just going to go with it. Cool.
Hello!
Hi, how's it going? Hi, guys. Welcome to Wildlands Reforged, the launch stream. I realized I forgot to do a screen cap. I'm sure everybody here knows what it is. We're expecting it to be a chiller experience. Updates always remove all your settings. Yeah, pretty sure that's what happened.
That's dumb.
It is very dumb.
It's a bad way to do it.
I'm also not a software developer, so maybe it's unavoidable. I'm not
It
educated.
could be.
Yeah.
That doesn't change that it sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure it sucks
if
for
it was
them
the
as well.
only way to do it, then sure, but
I'm sure it sucks for them as well, and they'd prefer it doesn't happen that way.
yeah.
It's also software that we're using for free. So,
there's not a huge complaint here.
That one was not on me, except out of, I guess, not having time to thoroughly check. Supposedly it was happening last night, too. I've not had time to... We got back from Gen Con and then went straight into, getting ready to launch this. It's been a wild 2 months getting this thing together. But
Yep.
it's together.
That's about all I got.
Yeah. For those watching the replay, we started right on time with no issues.
Yep.
Yeah, so the goal of this stream is just to hang out and celebrate a bit. We know it's going to be like a more laid-back thing than a normal campaign, which is kind of what we were expecting anyways. Also, it's the middle of the day during a work day. It's great for the Europeans, so that's something. But we wanted to answer any questions. What's so funny about that?
Nothing. That's why nothing's funny. Keep going.
Well, now I feel like you're making fun of me.
No.
I'm going to set up a screen capture of the project.
All right.
One thing that is very funny, we were talking about, and we didn't have time to put together like a betting pool inside the office for how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Because we genuinely have no idea what to expect going into this, which is part of the point of doing it, right? We want to figure out if this is a thing we can do, and trying to do it in a way that is safe for us to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that no matter what ends up happening, if it turns out people just are not interested in this particular thing, we're gonna be okay. That's the main.
Yeah.
That was our main goal with this whole thing.
My thing is that for Animation Giant asking if we're gonna enter the total pool. No. I think I know a little too much. I think it's a little too insider baseball. Upper of me to bet on something that I probably know the outcome of.
It's literally insider trading.
Yeah.
Like it's literally. Yeah. I mean, granted, there's no actual
I said baseball.
to it.
You said trading, but
Yeah.
Something's inside something else. That's it.
Filters came off. One moment.
Okay.
Is it gonna do this on every? Bam. Okay, how about that? Is it gonna do this every time I change?
Oh, maybe
scenes?
because you changed scene.
Yeah. Is it gonna do this every time I change? Okay.
All right. Well, then if we keep going back to those two, then we'll probably find for
the nice thing is
show.
now that I know what the issue is, it's an extremely quick
easy
fix.
thing to but you'll then have to go into each scene and do that.
I don't think anything's gonna be as rough as like when we were in the middle of a live game or something,
Right.
and everything broke. And so while it was going, I went to another scene and then went and set up. I had to rebuild a bunch of other scenes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
So it'll be easier to get some chase pieces in there. Yeah, I mean, that's key. Yeah, that's part of the hope here, right? A lot of the stretch goals involved in this project are specifically that, showpieces, right? Things that we're trying to say, we can't in good conscience be like, we're going to order 300 of the Stairway to Violence. Do I think the Stairway to Violence will sell 300 units? Yes. But the confidence of being but 80 people have already bought it, or 100 people have already bought it, and that makes it easier for us to accept that, then yeah, that's part of the point of these projects for sure. Doing pre-order restocks in the future is the goal, is the hope from something like this. Have a good structure for it anyway.
Yeah. Will Dwarven Forge gift cards be able to apply to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're able to apply credit to people's accounts. So what you'll need to do is just contact customer support, and they'll walk you through it. Basically,
Exactly.
they'll just null your gift card, and then we'll apply it as credit to your GameFound account.
Yep.
Yeah. We can do that pretty easily.
Yep.
And that's ultimately, this is what this stream is about, is being here with you guys, answering questions,
What
all that
questions
jazz.
you want to ask?
Oh, do I have to have this screen up? I do. Okay.
To what?
The countdown, it stops doing the window capture if I close that. Let me see if that's something in the setting I can change.
It looked like it was doing it.
It stopped doing the countdown while
Really?
while I had it away. Yeah.
Okay.
See,
It
watch.
looked like it was continuing to count on over here. So on my side. So anyway,
I know it's counting down now, but like if I click away,
you're good.
see, look at this.
You're doing fine.
It's not moving. Look at that.
You're totally fine. I see what you're saying, and you're good.
Okay. Yes. So we we wanted to answer questions. I know it's a new, because it's also like, this is a new platform for us too. We've researched it extensively. We've been talking to the team at GameFound about it, so we think we understand all of it. There might still be some things that come up that we're also not aware of, but like in the communication we've been having, we're in a good spot, and we're gonna make sure that everybody is taken care of. So if you got any questions about it, feel free to let us know. We'll answer everything we can. This is just kind of a fun learning experience for all of us. Hey Jeffrey, how you doing? Can you bet $10,000 of company money that people will buy 300 Stairways to Violence? Is really the question. I mean, there's a reason Stairway to Violence is coming back, right? I convinced them. I was like, no, like it will sell if we get this back. Like you're gonna be fine.
that was an easy example of something where it's like, it's a pretty safe bet on that one. You can make that a regular restock and it'd be fine.
Yeah, because the fear is always like, well, what if it doesn't sell? Then we just got all this stock, and it's like, this one will sell. It'll be okay.
Yeah, well, like I'm not gonna buy. I'm not gonna reasonably do like the 8-inch flagstone floors from castles.
There's a couple things where we do like question.
Like what's the real use of that? What's the
Hey, Nate's here.
Yay!
Be careful.
Be careful. Yeah.
You talk about how stretch pay will work. Yes. So stretch pay, we get to kind of set up the parameters of it. We get to decide how many payments it is, basically. So for this campaign, we're going with 4 monthly installments because we need to make sure that everybody is paid up by the time that we ship pieces to them.
Yes.
So by putting it on 4 months, everybody will be done by the end of the year, and we can ship without like any concerns, basically.
The stretch pay, you pay your first installment at the campaign close.
Yes.
So I buy $300 worth of product, or I pledge $300 worth on August 25th when the campaign closes. I now pay my first fourth portion of that as it closes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm now on the marker for the pledge manager, and then the other things if I add anything. But yeah.
The thing to keep in mind is you can only have one stretch pay active at a time.
Yeah.
So if you use stretch pay for the campaign proper, you would need to then pay that up before you could use stretch pay in the pledge manager. So as you're planning your purchase, like just think about it that way.
Right.
There's no fees or interest. You're going to be paying the exact same amount as if you did pay it all at once.
Right.
Like the transaction fees or whatever it is, like the electronic fees, GameFound actually pays.
Right.
So yeah.
So I think the one thing there is it's like, yeah, if you're wanting to do an order where you want to do stretch pay but you want to maybe do an extra thing in the pledge manager, you're not certain, so you can do your original pledge and then switch to stretch pay during the pledge manager.
Yeah. And it will be auto charging you too. So you don't have to like remember to log in and pay it. It will auto charge you. So please use it responsibly.
Yes.
Is I think the main thing.
Yeah.
We wanted to try it out because we figured it's safer to try it here and see how it works than to try it on a bigger campaign.
I'm on stretch pay for the Firefly board game. Like, I was curious because I was curious about it. I was like, I wanted to see how it worked. I wanted to see how I was like participating with it. Did I want to try to grab more stuff because of it? And
you love Firefly, so
I love Firefly. So
yeah, typical.
It's the 10th anniversary of the game. Everything's there.
Anybody know what kind of stretch goals are in sight? Oh, did we set the rest of them?
We will set them live once the thing is actually live.
Okay.
I can't publish them until the project launches.
Okay, should we ask Letitia to publish them at?
No, I was just gonna run and do it real quick. It was gonna
Okay,
take me all of
no
3
problem.
minutes.
'Cause I know I'm
I'm
going
on the
to-
page. I'm ready to go for it. I can't publish it until it actually launches, so it'll just be like another minute, and then I'll be able to do it.
Also, yeah. Unfortunately, Nate's not here in studio today because he does have he tested positive for COVID this morning. The rest of us have all been testing since we got back from Gen Con. And we've
Yeah.
all been coming up negative. But we are just like a skeleton crew today, and we're kind of
Yep.
doing this, and then heading home. We're gonna keep testing.
Yes.
So far, everybody else has been feeling fine.
Yeah,
Um,
Nate's exactly right. We would love to hear whatever you guys have in feedback. You guys have been doing everybody's actually been doing that. I think throughout the preview, like what we've seen in Discord, what we've seen in GameFound comments, what we've seen from just I think whatever 1 or 2 streams we've ever actually had prior to this project launch. So I think we've been getting a good amount of information. So anyway,
Perfect.
anything that we can continue to get would be great.
Let's see. The other stuff. I'm trying to think what else there is to cover. That really is the main thing. Like this is planned to be a safe way to experiment with a new platform, a new style of product. We've been asked about doing pre-orders for a long time, and so this is like the way that we can do pre-orders because we don't have the internal structure to run large-scale pre-orders like ourselves, like on our site. That would take kind of an expansion of that side of our company that we just haven't done.
This semi paves the way for that too, where it's like, great, we have. I think we've always known that people would respond well to it, but just sort of like how that can actually work as a project because we're also treating this is also reconfiguration. This is also us able to like go into our escarpment packs and go into some of the swamp banks and rearrange some of the original KS6 forest floors to match better with the design that we were trying to do with the KS7 floors.
Which was like a last minute thing that we.
It was a thing that like once we actually looked at it was like no, it's actually going to be better to try to do this because it's going to help out all the designs across the board. So I think that's another thing about this one in particular is that like while this one is utilizing GameFound, it may pave the way for us to be able to do it within our own system later on for more things in like an easier way because this one also had to have the aspect of like okay we're also distributing new versions of these sets so anytime we were going to do something like that or I think we've mentioned talking about like dungeon reconfigs before like oh if we're going to add a new version of a piece or whatever that constitutes a project like this versus just like a regular store restock kind of pre-order.
And it's also figuring out like what would incentives look like for something like that too, because like, you know, we're trying to give discounts and stuff where we can, and trying to like provide like some nice like the main incentive is being able to guarantee you're going to get exactly what you want, not having to worry about stock running out, that sort of thing. But we're also still trying to, you know, it's why we're honoring the existing store prices instead of what they're going to be when they arrive. We've got the bundles with the discount. The $5 follower. If you're not following, by the way, you have 10 more minutes to get that $5
discount.
So yeah, like it's really is. There's a lot of stuff that we're taking notes on. I will be putting up a postmortem channel on the Discord and a thread in the forums after this to kind of collect people's thoughts. But it's very interesting because like this is just entirely approached from like a different direction than any campaign we've done before.
And I think really like one of the interesting things too is like gosh, our follower count has been really nice so far. Like we've been I don't think we were worried about it, but I think we were just like, yeah, we're hoping to actually get people at least signed up to see the project when it goes. And we've got this great follower count right now where I'm like, I mean, to me, once we launch, it becomes a thing where it's about how do we actively engage with people still and how do we answer these questions? How do we show off some of these next stretch goals or whatever? And then also to a larger point in my brain, it's kind of like some of this is going to be slightly coasting a little bit. Like this is a different kind of project for us where like we're not trying to incentivize every single second and seeing what we can do to like engage other people. It's really about like, hey, come check out our project. Look how easy this is. and come meet the community that also kind of like shows you how it can really be done with like a few simple steps. Like if you want to do simple scatter buildings, or if you want to do a big giant $1,200 forest build or whatever. That was kind of one of the fun parts of Gen Con, was like getting to talk to people about the differences between core sets and how things work and how things are supposed to mix together, and like how you can utilize scatter and dressing in kind of a multitude of ways.
Can somebody post in the comments? I realize I'm not logged in here. Can somebody post in the comments that we're doing this live stream right now, and link to it, just so the people who are watching the page will know? I just realized I forgot like that entirely.
To post in the
comment section on the page, yeah. Just that people who are like hanging around.
You can't do that now?
I'm not logged in here.
Oh.
And I don't want to.
Yeah.
Do my credentials and stuff. I guess I could just like
no.
hide the screen.
You're fine.
No,
you don't have to do it.
I should just hide the screen and do that.
No, you're fine.
I can kill the countdown for a few minutes.
Yeah. I'm just trying to decide what was.
Yeah, no worries.
What was the hang-up?
It's entirely. Yeah, no, it was entirely a dumb thing that was not a problem.
No, it's all good.
Okay. Oh well, somebody already did it.
Mace guy.
Cool, it's already there. Yeah. Okay, yeah. People got it. A couple people already got it actually. So yeah, we're good. We're good.
Anna. Thanks. Yeah. Yikes.
Dwarf Kana?
Yeah, like
the Lorcana thing.
Yeah. Boy.
Let's see. This is always here. Gonna hit the gym with throwing DF training people on treadmills screaming pledge now.
Pretty good.
What other stuff is there to cover? Yeah, I don't know. Like that's the main. It's just been a big experiment. It's also, oh yeah, because you were talking about how it's going to be more of like a coasting thing. That is true. Like with our campaigns, it's always like a all hands on deck thing. With this, like our dev team like hasn't been, because there's no new sculpts or anything. So the dev team has been very minorly involved, because they're busy sculpting and painting all the stuff for like the actual like projects where there's a lot of new material. Like they're working on pushing all those things forward.
Yeah.
And we're like, so can we have campaigns? Can we have projects going that are one like focused on just making the store better, like working on our long-term stuff? Like, do we have enough bandwidth to still devote attention to shoring up the like back end of the company instead of
I mean even beyond the team aspect, right? Like it's just even the game found system. That alone, there's a good degree of coasting there in terms of like we get to set up so much within the system that it becomes pretty easy. Click, publish, and then walk away because we've done all the work beforehand. Yeah, and I think that's something that we usually do, but we've done like as a microsite, and then we've had to figure out how do we upload stretch goals, and how do we make sure that those get revealed, and then how do we change the Kickstarter page, and then on and on and on and on. And it would become this thing where it was like hits a 16-page document checklist, to complete this project. Whereas this one is like it's much more.
It's been interesting working
streamlined in a way that like really provokes us to try to be as preemptive as possible, which I really appreciate.
Thank you for the raid here, Reforged. Annika, were you streaming this early in the morning?
Wow.
You've finished a stream already today? Aren't you like also in an earlier time zone than us?
Yeah.
Wild.
Well,
also,
wait,
thank
no,
you for the stream.
I don't think that. Didn't she go? It doesn't matter.
I don't know which part of Canada she's in. She's definitely not in an earlier time zone than us. Definitely
if
not.
We knew it, we weren't going to say it.
Definitely not in like. Well, I mean, we're as east as it gets on this continent.
Sure.
So like, well, we could be in Maine, but that's still the same time.
Yeah, we're just not going to pull an article.
Yeah. Early stream today. Why? What were you guys doing? Was it a painting stream? How many stretch goals with launch? I think 5.
5.
Yeah, we have 5 plotted out to be revealed at launch. If we
Yes.
somehow burst through all those, we have some other ideas. If we somehow burst through those, then yeah.
My curious thing that I'm wondering is what you mean, like also what kinds of details are given by GameFound. I wonder what you mean by that.
GameFound. That is gluten free. You will be able to see the funding amount when the campaign goes live. This countdown is going to be replaced by a bar that it's going to show the current funding, and it'll also have a bar that shows like how close we are to the next stretch goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one fun thing about the layout too. Is like this countdown will go away, get replaced with the funding info, and it tracks the stretch goals for us automatically.
Yes.
What is that game on the GameFound site?
Man.
Build with the ladders and platforms. War of the Three Sanchos. I haven't heard of it. Conflict between cousins in the time of El Cid. Sounds interesting. There's a lot of games on this site.
Yeah, not certain.
Yeah, I am not aware of it.
The build with the ruined tower and the dungeon ruins is really cool.
It's fun advertising though. I like it. The kind of banner, we're set up to do this, right?
What?
We're set up to do these banner ads up top, right?
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm excited to see those actually. Letitia was working on those.
Yep.
Eastern Canada has another time zone
in GameFound for stretch goals before they are live. No, we didn't.
We'd have to publish.
We would honestly. That's an easy thing to fix. Like we could. The abstract is that like it'll tell you that a set will be available for purchase, but it doesn't have the amount listed there. But we can change the dialogue to actually like include that. No problem. It was not something that we were desperately worried about because it was more like, hey, we want to show the item. So that's a really easy thing for us to adjust and like add as in addition to it. So yeah,
that's
because that's the other thing. We're not trying to like with these stretch goals. We're not trying to necessarily hide them. We're also not trying to hide the prices. We're not trying to like there's not any reason for us to do that. So that's the big thing is that like I'd rather you have the information if it's going to be important for you and then make that adjustment. So
Six Club says the best part about Gameforge is that I can say things like spending money today on my GF and people will think I have a girlfriend. What is it in Final Fantasy VIII? They had a GF. It's something.
Oh, that was it wasn't guild. No, because it wasn't the money.
It's a guardian function?
Guardian function. Yeah, I think a Guardian Force.
Guardian Force?
Function.
Yeah, and so it's like you got to work on my GF. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna actually go run and I'm gonna publish those now.
Put those things in there now. Okay, cool. We have.
I'm not gonna be able to put the prices yet, but I'm gonna be able to publish them.
All right, no worries. Yeah, but the plan is once a stretch goal is hit, it's like we have all their add-on listings prepared, so we're just gonna publish those add-on listings when those stretch goals are hit, and then they'll be available on the site. Okay, what other questions? Dwarven Forge build with ladders and platforms. Oh, this is Star Wars Shatterpoint. This picture right here. This is we did a battle report. It'll be coming out during the campaign. That is the Mountain Bundle mixed with the Shatterpoint core set, and we play Shatterpoint on it just to like show how that stuff all mixes together. So that's the core set terrain from Star Wars Shatterpoint. We're also going to be doing some photography with like some with our stuff on some Warhammer. We're going to do Warhammer photos as well. We want to show this stuff in context of a bunch of games just to like show like, yeah, this is how flexible this stuff is. So throughout the campaign, we'll be doing some more photography and like stuff like that. Yeah, we only had so much time to prep things, but yeah, no, that stuff. We had some questions about that earlier. That's not our sci-fi terrain. That is Shatterpoint. Our own sci-fi terrain you'll be seeing very soon. Okay, 40 seconds. I hope Tyler gets here in time. I don't know what to expect. I really, really don't know what to expect. This is in virtually every way. Sigmar. We'll do Sigmar first. We can do 40k as well. But we have a bunch of Sigmar armies built at the office. That's what we have the most to like do a setup for. 20 seconds. Wow, you're fast. Nice. Okay. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really exciting.
So again, just so you know,
are we doing giveaways? I should have gotten permission to do some credit giveaways.
Yeah, I don't think we have any. 3, 2,
1. Live.
Start imminent.
Start imminent. I didn't realize I was gonna do that.
Oh, that's incredible.
Okay, so if I refresh, is it going to?
Probably have to refresh or something, but that's great. May says yes, do a giveaway.
The page is automatically refreshing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Start imminent.
So just to vocalize it again, we've published the stretch goals. I will be able to go in post stream and put the prices in there. But what I believe happens is that the add-on should be visible. No. We have to publish the add-on once we actually break through the stretch goal. So no,
boom,
the add-on won't be visible. But
start.
I will add in the prices to those stretch goal listings.
Okay, there it is.
Great.
Back now to Game Your Free. To Game Your.
Wait, why didn't it?
Oh, I think this says. Okay, so I think for anybody that early followed, it then says like, "Hey, remember to back this because you got a discount."
Yes. Yes.
Is it not displaying? Is it not displaying the stretch goals first?
It's not displaying that, but we'll have to check that.
We'll check.
just
Yeah,
have
maybe
to,
it's a setting we have to toggle on because I've seen other.
I thought that's what I thought we had it on, so we'll double check it.
We can just order add-ons. Yes. The nice thing here is you do not have to select a reward level.
Nope.
If you want to just do a la carte add-ons, you can just click down here, add anything to your pledge. You literally create your pledge by just selecting the stuff that you want.
Exactly. So that's one of the strongest parts of this. It reacts like just like our web store in that regard. You should be able to see up to 300.
Yeah,
you might need to refresh again, but yeah, we have.
If you submit your pledge, yeah, you can change it. Just like on Kickstarter, you are not locked into your choices. Well, you're not even locked in there. You're not locked into the amount you spend until the campaign closes. So you can change stuff as much as you want. And in the Pledge Manager, you can also reassign the credit you spent to other sets if you would like. However, if you want to go under, you'd have to contact us so we can like refund you.
Yep.
But yeah, you have all the flexibility that we had in our past campaigns as well.
Yes. But more so even because the opportunity to choose your add-ons prior to the campaign closing. Estel Kantar, yes.
This is so what we have here.
It's a qualified yes.
Yeah, what we have here is these are the 5 we were like, okay, these are like the 5 ones that we want to that we think are the most beneficial. We do have, if we do get through this, we have more that we can do.
That's the point. It's like we were like we it's all controlled measures, just trying to keep it even. Basically, if within these, if we get to, I'd say that the 200 mark, we're gonna show you the rest of them. It's just that like we wanted to sort of gauge it a little bit. How long will the Pledge Manager be open for once the campaign closes? So the Pledge Manager, I believe GameFound requires you to take 15 days to make sure all the payments are going through. So when the campaign closes on the 25th, it'll be 15 days before we can even open the Pledge Manager.
There's not gonna be a lot of changes between the campaign and Pledge
Yeah,
Manager.
there's not gonna be like, oh cool, we added this thing or not, because most likely we would have already, if there was like one random thing that we decided to add, we would have already done that. But we're very satiated with how much we're offering right now. But more so to the point, the actual Pledge Manager will be open, I believe at this point, I think we're saying another 2 weeks, maybe 3.
This is saying mid to late September.
Yeah. So it would probably, the Pledge Manager is most likely to open around like the 15th of September and then stay open for the rest of the month. The big thing there, again, like Chris said, you're doing so much within your initial pledge that we're not certain that there's going to need to be a lot like in previous versions of our Kickstarters and everything where you have to do a lot of extra work in the Pledge Manager. But I understand that a lot of people are like, oh, but some of that has to deal with my payments and some of that has to deal with like how I want to pay for things and if I'm going to do stretch pay or not. So we're really trying to consider that now that I believe we're going to open it for at least 3 weeks, I believe is the plan. And that should kind of coincide with like the first week of October or whatever. But like Chris also said in a different comment, we do kind of have to like get our order to the factory. And so that's what's going to kind of happen. Anyway.
And then 2 quick questions. So are the stretch goals things we get like Kickstarter? So what it does is it unlocks them for purchase. It has us go like, okay, we can add this to the restock order. So then their add-on listings will appear. We're not doing free pieces or additions because we can't do any. We can't do any new, like we can't do like little stretch goal packs with this, or it would delay delivery until like after Lowtown, basically.
So there is a thing where through each stretch goal, through each little listing of there, it'll tell you like, yeah, this will just be available for purchase.
And then if you're looking for unpainted sets, we are offering everything painted and unpainted.
Yes.
So on the add-ons, we did all the painted stuff first, and then we did all the unpainted stuff, so that way you can just go to the painted or unpainted section and then scroll through everything.
Exactly. So but it's also why we did bundle discounts, right?
Yes.
On the stretch goals for free, we're not doing that. motif. It's like we still wanted to do bundles that we could give discounts and give heavier discounts there as much as we can. Just want to make sure so I can spread out.
And then all
my
the
purchases.
all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rewards
yeah.
also. Yeah, if you need to spread things out over paychecks as well,
Yeah.
if you do, please be responsible. But there is going to be stretch pay available, where it'll be 4 monthly installments. So that could also
Masticon, just let us know if that continues for you.
issuer suspected fraud.
Yeah, not certain.
I don't know
That
what
could
that
be
means.
a thing with your bank.
I could check in with. Yeah, I could check in with.
Yeah, so that's
Issuer suspected
it's,
fraud.
it's,
Yeah, I'm not sure what that
it's
means.
It's a thing where we'll, we'll try to help you out if something's being goofy. So,
Not sure what I want other than stump lumps. That's fair. The nice thing is you can just kind of select whatever it is that actually
get the stump
appeals
lumps,
to you.
please.
Oh, I need to.
Go to the bathroom.
No.
Okay. Already did that. You need to.
I'm gonna set
post
the
flyer.
I'm gonna set the campaign video live on YouTube now.
One of each painted.
I had it unlisted so that we can embed it
Jeez.
on the page. And if you schedule it, it puts it on private. You can't schedule it and have it unlisted, which is frustrating.
Right.
But okay, so it's public now.
Oh, swap to different guardians. Fine. Good.
That's curious. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, we wanted to try to make sure when it comes to the Dread Hollow stump lumps, like we weren't as concerned with the modular trees from the original Dread Hollow. I believe we already had them in stock, A and B. It was just sort of like, yeah, we just want to kind of limit some of the choices, make it more consolidated. But we still wanted those stump lumps because it adds to the collection of things. Like having those play with the conifers or the cypress or whatever is also still hugely necessary. So it was pretty important to have it there.
Yeah, the stump lumps also they kind of feel like core forest pieces almost because trees are so important. So they feel very important. And we just based the compositions of all the stump lumps off of that existing KF6 pack where it's one large and two small. Cool. Let's just move everything into a one large, two small footprint. Yeah,
absolutely.
Question: does the mega pack just include one of each of the small 3 bundles? Yeah. So the Wildlands Reforged mega bundle is all 3 of the Reforged bundles plus the Trifecta Ledges companion pack.
Yes.
Because you need that for the mountains to work with the forest, and the Trifecta Ledges companion pack is exactly matches the escarpment count that is in the mountain bundle.
So if you're talking about the Wildlands Reforged mega bundle, that's how that works. And if does it include a bigger discount? Yes, the Wildlands Reforged bundle has the largest discount in the entire campaign. It's the only way we can give those large discounts is when there's that many pieces.
Yeah. It'll charge you at the end of the campaign, not immediately.
No, not immediately.
That includes if you pick stretch pay. If you select stretch pay, it still won't charge you until the campaign closes.
The campaign closes, but it'll charge you that first stretch pay amount.
Let's see.
That's kind of one of the. And I know we've said it a couple of times, but that's one of the things we're super curious about is how would that change how people can interact with our product.
I will say one thing that makes this very interesting compared to Kickstarter is that with Kickstarter, they will just go and they go oh, select the highest pledge level and just go in because they're not selecting sets. With this, it's a lot slower because people are actually browsing and selecting things and then actually putting their pledge together, which is very interesting. Average pledge is about 420. Let's go, brother.
Nice. Well, that sort of speaks to me about why the previews personally are going to be kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we talked about really early on in this process was the advent, the ability to utilize a preview page where we can show add-ons early enough that everybody in our community can actually look at the things and talk about it and discuss and figure out their pledges and how many they want and in what ways do they want it,
how many they want.
That was just really deeply interesting to me, was the opportunity to try that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the things that to your point, that's one of the things that plagues people all the time is just I guess I'll just put in an amount and figure it out as we go. And it's like, that's exciting, but I can understand why that can be frustrating, or even from a perspective of like, I want to know exactly what I'm getting. It can slow that down a little bit. So this, like, while it may be a slower pledge process, is maybe a little more in their hands, I guess is what I was going at.
Animation Giant. The extra pack, it's the Trifecta Legends Companion Pack, which you can find in the Mega Bundles section on the add-ons.
Yes.
It basically, that is a pack where you're just like, the ledges are their core pieces, but like only if you're doing certain things.
If you want to get back to the grid, if you want to get back to the grid with your escarpments, or if you want to cap off your forest floors, or you want to do a nice transition into stuff, like
it's basically
they're great for those.
It's basically when you need them is if you have both mountain and forest. That's when you like need them. They're useful and good pieces no matter what.
Yeah.
But like when you need them is when you're like, I want to take these escarpments and put them in line with floors.
Yeah. Or I want to have my forest floors branch into negative space, and I have a whole 6-inch by 6-inch that I don't want to use the swamp banks for.
That's the thing. Like they're basically like in that sense, like they're kind of alternative like skins for banks, which gives you like more variety, which is really nice. But like the point where it's like, no, you need these for it to work, is for putting mountains in line with floors.
Yeah, exactly. After Cult, I was unsure about spending too much money on this, but split pay changed me. Which, yeah, sure. I mean, definitely use responsible judgment on this, but yes.
How beneficial are the forest or mountain battle boards to go with the mega bundle? It depends on if you want them.
Are building.
The reason why we didn't put any of the table coverage options as like baked into the thing is because sometimes people already have mats that they want to use, or they want to use different terrain trays than the ones that we like show the bundle with. So we wanted to just make that an option because they're generally pretty cheap things to pick up. Yeah. Compared to
also in terms of restocks as well, it's like it's an item that we are attempting to have better stock of consistently. Yeah. Out of anything in our line, it is the most sold item, so we are always trying to make sure we have terrain trays available and battle boards available.
But we didn't want to lock people into getting that, because in the past we've gotten a lot of like, I really like this bundle, but I feel like I lose the discount because I'm having to spend it on terrain trays that I don't want, or something. So we're like, okay, let's let the surface layer scenery be an optional thing that you can pick up if you want. You can pick whichever one that you want to actually use. And
you know what, friend, you're exactly right. Stretch pay, like it's a thing that like, that's another huge reason I'm excited for it, is like, hey, even if you're only getting like $300 worth of stuff, being able to split that between 4 different payments, holy crap, that's going to make it so I can actually get what I want. I can actually get the thing that I can put on my table and have fun with. Just because I live paycheck to paycheck kind of thing.
Apparently, Six of Clubs also had a fraud alert. Like,
oh, jeez.
I wonder if it's because they're European based.
Maybe.
So for a lot of U.S.
Yeah, it could be our banks like trying to catch it, but it's buyer without any Wildlands and not super hyped for all the restock items because I don't have a varied collection yet. The split makes buying them. Oh, okay, yeah, meaning web store restock. Yeah. It can be tough when you're like, oh, I'm not really like interested in any of that, and I don't really want to pay all that just for right now.
Yeah. The trifecta, like it comes with both like the mountain and forest version of each, because the main thing is just like making sure you have the tool for like whatever it is that you want to do with it. So altogether, like there's going to be more ledges in there than you need usually, but it gives you the flexibility to go like you can either build it in line with the mountain floors or the forest floors. Is Cave Mouth part of this? It's not. No. I believe is it in stock?
I thought it was. Currently? That was why we left it out.
Yeah, like the original KS6 escarpments were all currently in stock from what I remember. So we were
arriving in October.
Yes.
So that was, and hey, it may have newly been out of stock, kind of a thing. Like
I think the painted's in stock, but the unpainted isn't.
So that's the other thing, right? Is that like some of these options when we made these choices a month and a half ago potentially have changed. Like for instance, we didn't have the forest terrain tray because it was in stock at the time that we had been making the project. Since that time, it has gone out of stock, and so we were like, oh, okay. Like so we're trying to see what we can address about that, but again, we're that's why the stretch goals are the way they are. That's why we're trying to make sure that we're just paying attention to things and like seeing requests and seeing how we can move it. I will say a forest terrain tray is a little bit easier than like sculpted pieces. So like we might end up doing something about that, but like very, very loosely might. Yeah.
Set an amount of backing for the giveaway. Figuring out what we can do.
Deciding how many forest.
Oh, so you're saying we should do a giveaway? Mace, you're still in chat.
Mace did. She said, "Yeah, go do it."
Okay. I'm getting like the clearance for giveaway stuff real quick.
You're good. No, I'm here to look and listen. Found you will want a matching trifecta for every piece that needs one for certain builds, but you are correct with vertical builds may not be as necessary. Yeah, I mean like, yeah, if you're just building on top of each other on a 2x2, whatever. Like you don't need them too bad. I also find that like what they're helpful for is like they are great for, again, like end capping something, like just like it really adds a lot to just like break down to a ground level. And in regards to the original like question about how useful battle boards are, I mean they're floor height, so you can pretty easily get a 12-inch by 12-inch. I mean, there's a graphic, but you can, then utilize those with any of your other forest pieces, like your, because they're also magnetic, so you can also use those with your trees and everything, or you can use them with your escarpments. Do I think you need a whole 3-foot by 3-foot of battle boards? Iffy. Like you could still do that with terrain trays, or you could still just do that with a regular mat. But a 2x2 for sure. I think battle boards really shine at a 2x2.
That's fair.
Yeah,
and they're more rigid.
Nate may disagree.
Yeah.
Nate may say something different than I say, but like in my experience, I've used more 2x2 battle boards.
The issue with most of our like giving advice when people are like, "Well, what should I get?" It usually just comes down to like, "Well, what do you want to do?" Because that's the thing is like the answer is going to change based on what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah.
What games you want to play. Like.
Also, the thing is like the battle board is going to be useful. You just got to know what game you're playing. Yeah. I felt it coming. I
feel it coming.
The Nate.
Yeah, battle boards like specifically were made because we were doing like escarpments and stuff, and it was
Yeah.
like we need something like it's nice to have something that is like sturdier than terrain trays when you're putting these heavy escarpments on top of them. Battle boards for D&D, how are they? They're good. Battle boards are like,
oh yeah,
battle boards are great.
Battle boards and terrain trays for D&D are kind of like my go-to. Especially when I'm trying to do a random encounter, an easy 12x12 with some base scatter or something like that. 60 feet, right? That's 60 feet, all one thing. Like you're not, depending on how you want to run that encounter, like it's going to be easy. But those 12-inch increments are basically a nice test of sort of like one character is going to be able to go from one end to the other if they spent their entire turn, or a rogue if they spent their bonus action kind of stuff. So it's like, if I really want to make a challenge, I'm going to spread it to 2, or I'm going to spread it to 4, and then I'm going to start breaking sight lines, and I'm going to start breaking things and making it so it's harder to traverse through it. But that's going to come down to a lot of scatter. So like, that's my point on the terrain tray or battle board usefulness, is that it's like you can do a lot more pretty quickly without having to have the sculpted floors if you don't need them. If it's a lot about like, I don't need like one fun, epic, cool boss fight. I just kind of need a couple of fights along the road kind of stuff. You can still do a lot of that with just some good scatter sets and some good terrain trays.
We're going to be doing a giveaway around 12:30. We're just getting the information about how much we can give away. Okay, yeah, we're going to do a $50 gift card giveaway, which you can use either in the store or in this campaign. Around 12:30. Let's give it another 10 minutes and then we'll do it at 12:30. How much for the whole table though? We had a whole conversation about all that stuff yesterday. The guy that berated me for 10 minutes at Adepticon. Let's see.
But Nate was also right. Like you can actually do you take a stilt like the 12 millimeter stilt, and that's essentially a battle board at that point. You put it at the four corners and then in one in the middle. You can mimic it pretty easily.
That's why we made them at That's why we made them at different at those heights, right? We did like floor height, we did wall height, we did escarpment height. Yeah. How much is the whole table for Adepticon? Like 40K. Man,
yeah, if you want sculpted battle boards or if you want sculpted terrain or whatever, like obviously they are superior in terms of style and in terms of like I like them more for sure.
They're sturdier, they're more rigid. They're also just more expensive. Like
that's the thing. It's like when I want to but also like when I want to just do a quick build, I'm like, great, this is what I'm using because this gives the message of what I'm trying to do, and I'm not as concerned with like specifics. So, but if I want specifics, I'll use sculpted terrain.
Yeah, the other thing with battle boards too is since they have magnets on the other side. Oh, somebody asked about magnets. If you need replacement magnets or anything, just contact customer support and we'll get it sorted for you.
Yes.
The other thing with battle boards, since they have magnets on the other side, you can put any terrain tray on them and flip them around.
Yep.
And use that to elevate anything up to floor height, which is nice.
Yeah, Fenrir, battle boards are not required for escarpment builds. They are sturdier, right? Like you are going to have you're going to have a better construction on terms of like if you want like 100% stability. But the terrain trays will take the weight of the escarpments. I would recommend not. I'd still recommend you have additional support underneath. Even just in the center or just at certain choke points where it's like there's a lot of weight right here. We're gonna probably try to like make something under it that like helps support the tray overall.
It's interesting being able to like just see the progress to like every stretch goal like at the same time.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
How much is the whole table for?
They're interesting.
I mean the tape. If you want to know how much tables are, like of terrain. The problem is that a lot of the time we're free building. We are utilizing pieces from a scattering of bunch of different packs. The table we had at Gen Con, have you checked Slack? I think Mace is trying to.
I have, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that has all been
good. You've
out.
solved it.
Yes.
The table at Gen Con, for instance, like the one corner where Nate had built it out with the dungeons and caverns and all these other things, like that's easily like 2,200 to 2,500, just because of all the different pieces inside, just because of all the different like disparate things that you'd kind of like have to buy because of the packs. And then Toby's build was again easily about 4,500 because of just the massive scale of it. So that's what I mean is that like if you're asking like how much can you actually, and that's potentially even more. It may have been closer to 55 because of the like marble and all these other things that are even harder to get. So I don't know. Like it's harder for me to like be willing to talk about how much it is on the table because sometimes it feels like that's just like the gimmick of like how much is that? It's
well,
like
that's also why at the tables.
I don't
care. Battle boards, yes, they do match the height of the light panels. The light panels are also floor height.
Yes.
So. We try to use repeated geometry, repeated measurements whenever possible to like just increase compatibility. So yeah, battle boards and light panels, floor height. So that way, super easy to build them with banks and all that stuff.
And we got featured. Nice.
Yeah, and we should start seeing a lot of. We're gonna start seeing like all the advertising and stuff kick in. I don't know. I'm intensely curious to see like. Does this reach new people? It's also like we're also launching this in the middle of like a Thursday, so I'm curious. Like a lot of people are probably at work and not able to like do stuff right away.
Yeah, I'm not expecting. I mean, like, look, we're a quarter of the way to our first stretch goal, and I am actively happy about it. Like the fact that we got anybody who wants to be here, if we got anybody who's right here right now at launch. By tomorrow morning, we'll we'll see where it's at, and you know, this is what I mean by like, you know, I'm happy if we get to 250. You know,
the other thing too, I think with a lot of when we do Kickstarters like in the middle of the day, it is that thing where people get in, they're like, yeah, just like the highest pledge level and get out. And
Right.
You can't really do that on GameFound. You have
no,
to take
you have to take
time.
some time, and that's fine. You know,
Our average pledge is higher than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So far, which is nice. Keep on free building the free build. Yeah, we're always going to be doing some free building at conventions and stuff, just because like you can make really cool stuff when you just let yourself like use what's there. But what we're trying to do is also then have like a section where it's like, here are actual sets. Here's what it actually looks like on your table. Like a mixture of builds that are like super attainable, and then the builds where it's like, look at what you can do if you have access to literally everything.
Well, even the Legion build that Hamster built on the one side, super attainable.
None of that stuff is hard to get.
It was all forest, mountain, and swamp, and all those things could be built from the packs. I think he even did that, if I recall correctly. He built from packs. And the same thing with the swamp build that we were showing off, the same thing with the mountain build that we were showing off, because it was for the Reforged project. Like, all those things were built that way. And that entire store section that you have I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm just trying to praise you. Like, I like the store section that you've set up on that side of the table. It's like very important to kind of like contextualize these things. Like, hey, these core sets build about a 12 by 12, and here's what you can get from it. So yeah, we're not going to stop free building, and our free building isn't only ever going to be packs, because we want to try to kind of like have a healthy mixture of where we explore and where we actively like say, here's how you can get there. Yeah. I want somebody to dare to dream to build the Toby build.
Yeah. Well, and it also, like, you know, it gets people to stop and look at the it gets people to stop and look at the table, and then we can have that conversation about what it looks like to actually like grow.
And that's also not to say that like you're completely wrong either, that like we couldn't do it from packs that are real in the store. It's just more work. It's just like so much more work that we just don't. We kind of. It's better to just free build.
That is why we're trying to like make sample builds. Yeah. Just things like out of packs. Like when we do a sample build, stuff like that. It's like, let's stop just free building and actually use existing packs.
Well, that's what we were doing in this entire project for Reforged. Is that like build from that? So it's a good question.
Yes. You can always edit. Yeah, you can edit your pledge up until the end, just like Kickstarter. You can change it at any time. You don't get charged until the campaign closes. So, yeah. And then you can always add more stuff in the pledge manager and all that.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't feel locked in until the 25th.
The average pledge is going. I think people backed initially, now they're going in and they're adding more.
Sure.
Because we're seeing like the amount go up without the pack.
There's some people who just wanted the number.
Yeah, Matter Roberts has got number one. It's interesting. It is interesting, like watching this compared to, just the way it works on Kickstarter. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, okay. Here's the other thing too: is that once we actually do, if we are to do an actual project on GameFound, like Sci-Fi or Hightown, that comes with the caveat of, we have more reward levels. We have more things that like
we'll have
potentially, potentially become the easier. Like, I'm gonna grab that.
We'll have more of like an all-in pledge.
Yeah. We'd have that thing where it's like, I do want that one pledge right now, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna get in, and then I'm gonna start picking my add-ons as we go on. That's actually that becomes the thing that I'm excited for, is that opportunity, is laying down pledges that people can like look at and agree with and say, I'll get that, and then I also want to get additional things. Because in Kickstarter, when that usually worked, it was the pledge calculator and also these other things saying like, I'm going to get this pledge and I'm going to get these 5 add-ons, and what does that bring me to? Now I'll put that number in Kickstarter, and then I'll be able to choose it later. This time you actually get to do that from the beginning, and I feel like that's like huge.
All right. If anybody else has, again, main reason we're here. Most useful escarpments to have in multiples beyond basic builder. Straights.
Yes.
If
you want like just like useful, like what you're going to use pretty much all the time. Yes.
I also think it's definitely worth having
advanced.
At least one advanced. Like have it like, because those pieces, become like the pieces that are in the advanced builder are like your emergency pieces when you're like don't know how to finish this off.
Want to
They're
cap it
very
off.
flexible, so they're very good at
Yeah.
when you do run into like a building jam, those are usually the ones that are gonna like break you out of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Advanced builder and straights are like if you get one basic, one advanced, and one straight, that's a good escarpment collection already.
Yes. Yeah, it's very important. Like those bits, the bits in the advanced builder are extremely important.
Yeah.
In a way that the advanced pieces aren't always important. Like you don't need an advanced caverns core. It's super nice to have, but you don't like need it as much as I would say you need the advanced escarpments. If you're planning to do those builds. Actually, I don't know. Advanced caverns is really nice.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like I wouldn't equate the two. I
Advanced
think they do
escarpments is
different
more,
things.
Advanced escarpments is more important than advanced swamp banks, I would say.
Sure.
Yeah. Still, advanced swamp banks are really nice to have, but yeah.
You can do a lot with different packs and swamps beyond just the advanced one. So yeah.
Yeah. So, if anybody else has any other questions, is there one of each escarpment bundle? There is not. Let's see. Read this felt needed. I think each category having a bundle would have been nice. So, like a thing where it's like, here's one of each swamp bank, here's one of each escarpment.
Yeah, I get that.
That would be the closest thing to
But
to a
no.
mega pack.
But no.
Just
no.
all right.
Wait, what more do you what more do you want from me on this? No.
Probably like an explanation. I assume.
An
is what they're
explanation.
just for. Yeah.
All right. So the reason we can do things bundled when it comes to like the trees or the trifecta ledges or things like what's one of the other ones like the scatter stuff, that effectively creates a better target marker for like those things actually getting purchased. The reason we do the larger builds like the swamp mega, the forest mega, or the mountain mega is because those things end up being real amounts of stuff. If I give you one of every swamp bank, sure, you have enough to build some swamp stuff, but it's not going to be that different in price than the mega. You're talking about a difference of like maybe $150 to $200. I know that is a big deal for a lot of you. It is a big deal to me as well.
Oh.
But that discount is also going to change then too, right? The percentage with which we could discount that item, and then it's just another listing for essentially the same thing. So that's kind of my problem with it, is that I'm like, I'd rather build a mega that actually builds something that has an identity, and then have mega bundles that also help you gather up like scatter pieces and things that like could be easily added to anything that you already own, or even as a first time thing. Like getting that modular tree bundle, I think is a better bundle and a better thing to discount than just one of every swamp bank.
Yeah. It gives you like a full collection of the thing with swamp banks. If you do one of each, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a good composition for building swamp things.
Yeah,
I guess is the main thing. Same with escarpments. But like with escarpments, one thing we were talking about when we were first off, I'm gonna
you're gonna do the giveaway. Sorry,
it's an interesting thing, but I want to get the giveaway started. Then I'll say
yeah,
this.
absolutely. Sorry.
The keyword. So we're gonna do a $50 gift card giveaway.
Woo!
And you can use it either.
You can use it
in the web store, or you can contact customer support and say you want to use it for this campaign, and we'll put it here.
Exactly.
The word for it is just Reforged. So if you want to enter the giveaway, just type Reforged in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing with the escarpment bundle, like, I think an escarpment mega pack, if we did do that, we wouldn't actually want one of each. We would want two of the concave pack, because both the large convex and the large concave have a gap in the middle, and you get two of those with their respective packs. You would have four that have gaps in the middle. The concave pack will let you fill two of those holes, so you'd want two of those, really, and that would make it like a bit of a stronger composition in that respect.
Yeah.
But also what we'd still want to do, we want to build around use cases, right?
Yeah.
So still what we would want to do is then take all those escarpments and see, like, is this actually a collection of them?
Yeah.
Where it feels like you can actually build like really useful things
right
with it.
That's and I think that's my thing, is that like the bundles where it's just like, well, I'm getting one of everything and that works for me. It's like, yeah, but I don't
we don't want you to then wind up like trying to build with it and
and
realizing
then
that,
not
like,
have the pieces you need. And
yeah,
that's kind of
realize
why these things have identities, and that's why that's how it all works out. So it's like, I in all technicality, sure, we could, and we could kind of give a discount to it. I just don't think it's as useful as some people may think it is.
I think the main thing with the one of each mega pack for escarpments too, even if you do the 2 concaves, is with escarpments you really do want to wind up having, especially if you want to do multi-level, you want a higher ratio of convexes.
Yeah.
Which is why when you look at like the Aranthor Mountains like Reforged bundle,
Right.
that has like multiple basics,
Yeah.
and multiple of the like
I think
large
we put
large
two
convexes.
advanced in there, right?
2 of the large convexes. It's only 1 advanced.
Only
but
one
it's 2 of the large
advanced, okay,
convexes, and it's 3 basics. Because getting all those convexes, like that's what lets you close off the mountain.
Right.
Especially if you have the concave escarpment in there, like the big one that kicks out, that makes you need like 2 more churns, basically. That makes you need 2 more convexes to actually then close that mountain out.
Sure.
So it's a tricky composition thing, and I think to make it like a functional composition,
You need to build towards
we
it.
would then need to add enough stuff that it would basically wind up being close to the same cost as the mega bundle anyways.
That's my point, is that like when you break some of these things down, the reason that the mega bundles get to the prices they are or the discounts they are, and with some of the extra bits, like I get that you're like, I don't want that set, but at the same time it's like, okay, yeah, but the problem is without that, then you don't really have a thing that you can build.
Yeah.
So, and we
compositions
also need to make compositions that work for a large swath of people. We have to think about people who've never bought a biome before. We have to think about the people who have an amount of the stuff, and we have to think about somebody who, you know, I guess actually it's just those 2 people. Like it's just those 2, but there's a lot of them. A large swath of 2 groups of people.
Yes, but there's a lot of people in both of those groups.
Right. We can reduce the amount we pledge before it's locked at the end of the campaign. Yes.
Yes. Just like on Kickstarter, you can change your pledge at any point until the campaign closes, and then in the pledge manager you can use that credit to get different sets if you want. The only thing is, if you want to go below what you pledged in the campaign, you'll have to contact us. We have to do that. We have to do like a manual refund for that.
Yeah.
But you can add more money in Pledge Manager, as well as use the money that you spent in the campaign on different things if you would like.
But, you know, if anything, you know, we're willing to help. And so if you have any problems or issues, just let us know in customer support or in a comment on the GameFound page. We'll do whatever we can.
Masticon, no. From what I've seen, when we were exploring like what we could do as incentives, I asked them if we had those kinds of like progressive discount options. They didn't. It might be something that gets added in the future.
There's a lot of like discussion about like
Yeah.
how this platform is going to work, and also GameFound has been really, really nice and really, really supportive, as well as just sort of like
They are
wanting to communicate about, hey, how do we, you know, like what kind of things are you looking for within our platform? So if we're desperate for that kind of option, or if we think it can actually work out with our model, then like yes, like right, like we would you know, be interested in it.
Yeah, the I still think like one of the best things to point to is that when we were talking to them about like how complicated our shipping is, now we have to build like a shipping calculator like every campaign, because we need like a complex, like we need a system that does this thing, and most other companies don't need it, so it's never been really offered on a platform. It's something that like Pledge Manager, that company, like had to build for us expressly. GameFound like listened to it and they're like, oh wow, yeah, that's really complicated. And then like a couple days later, they were like, okay, so we're working on developing that and making it like an integral part of the site, so that we actually like have it and you won't have to build it out anymore. It's going to take them a while to do it, but like they were open to like making a change like that large.
Yeah. It also helped that other people had been.
We're going to
like,
roll this
kind of
giveaway
requesting.
in like 30 seconds. So if you have not typed Reforged to enter
with a D.
With a
Reforged.
D. Yeah, if you have not typed Reforged to enter the giveaway yet, make sure you do that. There's a lot of eligible people already though, so there we go.
Yeah.
A lot of eligible bachelors here. And yeah, I'll roll that in like 30 seconds. Average pledge getting close to 1,000. Yeah, the average pledge is going up, which I think is one of the things that's really interesting to see about like the GameFound thing. I think a lot of people put their pledge in and now they're going in and like browsing and adding more things.
See, Goulash, you were asking, you got 2 waterfalls, 1 straight, 1 convex, 1 concave. What else would be good? Estel Kantar is also right. Like, a concave is great because that's going to help you with your convex and concave pieces to cap those off a little bit if you need that extra room. The advanced builder is always a good choice because of the 1x3s as well as the end caps. And then the hidey hole, I will say you can take or leave that one. The hidey hole is great. I think it's awesome. It also comes with an additional escarpment holder, right, for the hidey hole as well as the waterfalls. They don't have a bottom to it, so it's like it helps hold them up, unless you can also use 1x2 mountain floors. But it, of that trio, is like an interesting piece more than entirely necessary. So I would say concave builder and the advanced builder, those are definitely things that you should do.
We just leapt up like a lot.
I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, well that launched us through our funding goal. So hey, we're funded. And we're well over wow.
So it looks like it's going to take a second for it to process the next.
Let's roll this. Yeah, that was like a 20K jump.
Well,
wild.
It didn't. So we're gonna have to go unlock the standing stones for purchase
soon when it hits 100K.
Yeah. Soon.
So that's gonna happen faster than we thought. Going off that. Okay, let's roll this giveaway in celebration.
Do it, and then Jeffrey has a question.
Mudkip on a bike. Hey, you've been around for a while, and I don't think you've won before. Awesome. Yeah, you've been around for a minute, and I don't think I've ever seen you win one. That's awesome.
Right.
That's also an incredible name. So I'm gonna whisper you real quick and get in contact with you, and we will get this set up for you. Not the bike, a bike. Come on, man.
So some of the stuff is already in the store. What is the benefit of backing for those things since I can just have them tomorrow? Nothing that is in this is available in the store. Everything that is on this project outside of the...
It's like the modular trees.
Well, the modular trees...
The
stump lumps. Yeah, but like that's the... Anything else is out of stock currently on the store. That is why we are doing this project. They are listed on the store, but the other reason that this is a perfect time to join on the GameFound campaign versus waiting for it just to come into the restock is that the prices are going to stay the same right now during the GameFound project. If this item is being ordered now, like the forest, one of the forest floors is like $90 or whatever. Once that comes back into the store next year, next spring, that actually will inflate a little bit. We're predicting about like $3 to $7 per pack.
I think there are like a small handful of packs where it's like there is some stock in the store, but we're looking at it and it's like they're kind of core to the offering. So it's like we should include this so that people can just get the whole thing at once and have it shipped to them.
Yep.
But what we'll say, like, because there's a lot of things that we didn't include because they are there, and it's like, yeah, you could just get this now, or they're coming, like all the Arcane Ruins and Titan's Tooth, they're coming in September. So like with those, like you can just get those in September. Yeah. So they're not in this campaign because we already had a restock order coming in.
If there's something that you see here, here's the truth. If there's nothing that you're seeing here that you need, and you're like, there's things on the web store that are in stock that I would rather have, go for it. Like
that's the thing. Yeah, with this, like, we're looking at this as a restock pre-order. It's a larger restock than usual, but we're trying to look at this as more of like a restock pre-order with a couple incentives, as opposed to like a campaign, like
as well as the difference between painted sets and unpainted. Sometimes the unpainted version's in stock, sometimes the painted version's in stock, and the other isn't. So it's like that can also lead us to also order this stuff. There was a question by Jeffrey that he highlighted that was above all the congrats and stuff, so we're gonna have to go a little bit up.
Man, running giveaways really just ruins everything. It would be nice if we pick an add-on like the advanced escarpment. You have to select it multiple times. It would be nice when you picked it, you could have the option to add as many as you want with one click. That could be a thing we could tell GameFound.
Yeah. I think I was noticing that too, but because we weren't able to actually like mess around with how it added to a pledge, I wasn't certain. So that's good to know.
I think like we're able to do it for bundles on the back end. Yeah. But I think it might not be a thing because the thing with GameFound is like they normally do like board games. So the idea of saying like, yeah, I want like 5 of this pack usually just doesn't happen as much.
Yeah. So it may be a thing that unfortunately they don't have use for, but like we'll see.
Yeah. I didn't burp. What are you talking about?
Forest escarpment packs. I don't remember. You added sculpted rivers, right? No. No, I don't want to. No. Nate feels differently, maybe, but I say no.
If you click onto the item, you can adjust the quantity before adding. Oh, okay, cool. Like I said, like a lot of this is too is like we're still learning the platform too. So there might be some of these questions that I actually don't know or just haven't discovered yet myself. Like, yeah, we're still new here. Has Reforged already set their numbers for the reorder and the backer stuff tacked on top of it? No, we're using this information to set our order that we're going to put in at the end of September.
That's partially why the stretch goals are set up the way they are. Is that what that's going to mean is, like, for instance, if the Oblivion Nexus is at 300k and we stop at 200k, probably not going to order the Oblivion Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't mean to say probably, I just mean to say that, like, that's our intention, is that we don't want to order it until it's actually unlocked, because we don't want to have to, like, take on that cost. That's what that helps us do.
Yeah.
Is have the confidence that we should actually grab that thing. And put it in the place.
Let's see. What other things are here? Forest escarpment packs. Yeah, those are basically all in stock on the store right now, so we don't have them in here because they're in stock in the store.
Yep.
If it turns out this campaign makes them like massively like sell and we sell out of them during the campaign, maybe we add them.
Maybe that's what I was trying to say a little bit earlier too, is that like there's a degree of this that we're also trying to like keep in contact, keep paying attention. I know I was saying it's a little bit more of a coast, but like that's more of what I mean, is that like we're going to have a little bit more time because we're not trying to reveal things every day, that we'll have more time to kind of like pay attention to comments and like see how people are thinking about things, making sure that requests are kind of like thought about and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, so, you know, like
but we've done a lot of work prior to this to like look at the web store, look what was in stock, look what was out of stock, like what do we actively want in our collection, and anyway.
Balanced Druid, the shipping cost should basically be the same as getting the stuff from the web store. I would imagine. That's usually how it is with the campaigns, right? Like it's still...
Yeah.
Because they're still shipping it from here to... Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll try some different shipping methods to try and keep it down. But usually I would expect it to be around the same as web store stuff. I think that's been the trend in the past. Because like shipping is something that we don't really control. Shipping and taxes are outside forces,
right?
Basically,
right. Only reason I ask is a what if scenario. If only a single model of something was ordered, it bypasses the minimum order quantity. That'd be curious.
So basically, we're expecting that a lot of these sets we probably won't hit the minimum order quantity on. But that's fine because the goal is to get these into the web store. So we're expecting like all the things that are live here. It's like we want to reorder these and have these in the web store no matter what. And then if we do well enough, where it's like cool, we basically covered the cost of ordering those. Let's get some additional sets. Let's get some other things too, and then we've got those in stock in the store, and we can push those, and people can be buying those over time.
Subsidize the order.
Yeah, this is basically it's giving people a chance to like pre-order and guarantee they get what they want, which people have been asking us for, and it lets us do a larger restock order than usual because it lets us, one, know how much we should be getting of everything, and two, like it gives us some upfront capital to just be able to potentially cover like the entire cost of ordering and shipping this up front, and then everything after in the store is just pure profit, you know? So that's the main thought process behind it. Because people have been asking for pre-orders for a long time. It's a very difficult thing for us to handle with the size of our team. So that's basically it.
Alternative business.
And this also like doing this campaign lets us like add some extra discounts and incentives that we probably wouldn't be able to do if we were just doing the pre-order.
I think that's a huge one for me, is like I you know, just getting to put a discount on a bundle instead of just a gift card or something, right? Like where it's like we can actively make this a little bit easier and better.
It also lets us get feedback on the collection, and if there are things where it's like people, it turns out people like really want this terrain tray that we're not ordering, and it's like, okay, maybe we can actually just work this in then.
Can we put this in? What is the
how is that going to affect things?
How does it affect everything? Because again, we've already kind of thought about a lot of that stuff, but like it becomes there's always that like that reassessment where it's like people are talking about this thing. We may have already made our choice on this, but like,
Yeah.
is it worth reflecting on it?
Like somebody, I think it was as I asked earlier, like, are these all the stretch goals? It's like these are the ones where we're like, because if we hit Oblivion Nexus, it's like cool. This campaign was a success. Like we're doing like we're feeling really good about this.
Yeah.
But we have thought of other things that we can add if it turns out we churn through these and it's all good, you know. So there's a lot more that we could do. We're trying to.
It showed a bar.
We're trying to keep it sustainable.
I didn't realize it showed a bar per stretch goal.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like we get to actually like just track the whole thing here. The other thing that's really fun about this is it lets us. They have options for like stretch goals that are unlocked by day or by backer number.
Yeah.
So we can literally like we can set up things if we want to plan like daily reveals during a campaign. We can have it here and like have the image be like a shadowed out like image and everything. Be like, oh, the day 15 unlock is coming up or something like that. And we can do it by backer number. We can have backer number stretch goals going at the same time as like dollar amount stretch goals, and it'll be tracking all those like on the page so you can see. It's a cool thing.
The one thing what we're gonna make sure post stream is to try to get the stretch goals up at the top.
Yes.
We want it to cycle through and show the next one up at the top. I wonder why it's not doing that.
I'm wondering if it is because I'm on an admin account.
Well, then switch to the backer view. Aren't you looking at it from the
I'm in
backer
backer
side?
view, I think. Maybe it's because I'm following the because it's giving me this notification saying like, hey, back now and you can get your discount. So I think because I'm following the page and haven't pledged, it's trying to remind me that I have a discount on it.
Yeah.
So I think people who have pledged can probably see the stretch goals. I don't know.
Okie doke.
Spore Claw is a beautiful piece.
It is.
We may or may not have considered it.
Does GameFound automatically unlock the stretch goals for you too? I
don't think they
automatically
I don't think they
show it being unlocked. I don't think it unlocks.
And
it doesn't
put,
publish the.
Yeah, they put the next on the list. We still have to go set the listing live ourselves.
Yeah.
But the listing's already ready, so we just have to like set it live.
So I think we kind of utilized it differently than some others might.
For a lot of people, stretch goals is like, oh, this pack is like gaining this thing, so it's not actually like a whole new listing.
Yeah, it's
We're doing
adding
it a bit
an item
differently.
to a thing, so it's like great. It's just a bunch of information. So yeah, I don't think their system is set up for something like that.
I still want to know how much we need to spend to get the subpar gridded terrain trays.
Oh,
those
you'd
are
have to pay a lot. I think
those are a heated debate every time it comes up. Like it's the most divisive thing we've ever done.
Herd Fenrir, Herd. Enchanted Pool is my favorite. Yeah.
A lot of people love that Spore Claw.
Spore Claw's awesome. Nina did a fantastic job.
Yes. Turns out when you give Nina like
space to
when you
do whatever,
like just make something disturbing.
Yeah.
Turns out.
The 2 times we played Dread with her, and it was just like
her Dread, dude. Her Dread campaigns are terrifying.
So good. I'm going to need to look through and find a way to make an acceptable Bleakmire for about $300.
Depending on what you want to do, some island packs.
If you already have the texture mat, that saves you a little bit.
Yeah, or if you have like an existing mod or something.
Potentially a way you could do again, if you have the texture mat, there's a way you could do a serviceable Bleakmire for around 300. It wouldn't be 300 exactly, but like around 300.
I'm just gonna back this project and see if that makes.
Gonna back it up.
I'm gonna bring our. What's the cheapest?
Oh,
thing we can
okay,
find?
yeah. Nate just said upcoming stretch goal is visible up top in my browser. I think it's just your
okay.
account.
It's just us.
Great. Good.
We're very close to unlocking the standing.
I that was all I cared about, was just making sure that was
our average pledge is
easily visible.
Our average pledge is over 1,000.
Great.
We
will see if that number stays that way.
I'm sure it's gonna go down a little bit, but like we were expecting around like 250.
We talked about it. We were expecting about like 450 to 5.
I talked you up to 455.
Yeah, and it made. Yeah, you were right, and it made sense. What do you want me to say?
Don't act like you were the optimistic one now.
I'm not the optimistic one, but you talked me up to it. That's fine. And then I said we agreed on that because you don't. What the hell is this? Why I don't have to suffer this. I don't have to be around for this. We got what 5 minutes
I don't want to
left?
be around anymore. I'm wondering if you should just stay until we hit 100K. We're very close to 100K.
Well, Ray's right. I think we got a kiss.
Oh yeah. Hi Ray. Language.
I said hell, Mace. We say hellscape.
Yeah, it's the middle of the school day. It's the summer, but don't think about it. It's the middle of the school day. There's no kids watching. We can say whatever the hell we want.
I can't finish that bit.
We can't. We can't quote any other line from that skit.
No.
Any other line from that skit would get us
Nope.
demolished. Like,
No, Jeffrey, that's exactly right. That's what I mean. Is that like you can do it? It's a little bit more if you already have the texture mat. That brings it back down to like 310 or something like that, or like 305. So that's what I would say. I can't I can't remember who was asking for the specific. Oh yeah, then you got that. Yeah, like I would back that exactly. The Winding River Islands, Swamp Tree Toppers, and a texture mat. That makes a very serviceable Bleakmire, especially because you could then, as you're going through it, start switching it around a little bit. Just put those things in different corners every 2-foot section of the swamp that you're traveling through or whatever. Because the original Bleakmire, I believe it was a 4x4 because we had the 4 texture mats, and so you had a whole bunch of islands. So like you could easily mix and match it a bit and have a good time. It wouldn't have as many scatter options as the original Bleakmire. Like you wouldn't have as many lily pads, or you wouldn't have as many of like the fellborn trees and stuff. But a very easily done one is that. And with your $5 discount, it's only $330.
Well, more stretch goal pack. Yeah, we have more stretch goals that we could do if we break these. So
we just want to break. I want to break at least 200 to 250 and see a good trajectory before I pull that trigger.
And Wicked Donut. It's also like learning what the pace of a campaign looks like on here compared to Kickstarter, because it's been like moving very differently. It's just interesting to see like the way that it moves.
Yes.
Is GameFound highlighting your campaign better than Kickstarter? I haven't looked.
Are
we on?
Not certain at this moment. We've only
know.
just launched, and so I don't think that I think they were highlighting it the past couple of days, like this week. But we're definitely on the featured page right now. They may. I know that they also do some things where they're like they wait till some things are launched and they do other things for the previews. So yeah. I think the previews usually go out in like emails and stuff like that. So that's what that's one or two of the things that I've followed was because of an email rather than like it being on the main page.
I can't believe not only is this just like a bot account, but literally the bot they're trying to push is Doge hype.
Improbable calf.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Improbable calf.
I don't get that.
Let's see. Wicked Donuts. You asked earlier. Oh God, what was it? I had a thing I wanted to answer.
Sorry.
Are the sample builds going to be itemized anywhere? Yes. There's like the hybrid build in each one. It was too many sets for us to actually like put in a lower third. And so I'm gonna go through. I just haven't had the time. I'm gonna go through. I have them. I just need to type. I need to put them into the descriptions of those videos. Bye, Gilded. Thanks for coming by. And thank you. All right. Well, we funded.
Thank you.
We're good.
Lowtown was like
It's the
on
middle of the
stealth
workday.
mode for yeah. That's the big thing was that Lowtown was
It was very weird. It was weird, but
disappointing.
it happened.
Is what I'm trying to say.
It happened, and we're here now. Will modular ships now? What piece do I need to include the hidey hole cliff and escarpments? So here's the thing. It is cliff height with the idea that you can cover it with
Ledges.
you can cover it with ledges to like make it go down. It is a
You
hidey
can also
hole
put
cliff.
it on. Well, you can also put it on floor level.
Mhm.
You can put a floor under the hidey hole, and then it'll pop up to escarpment height.
Yes. So that you can do that. You can like run a floor underneath it, which I've done, and that'll bring it up. And literally just any floor will do that. For the sample for the hybrid build in the mountain video, I had the forest floors go under it, and then it was like, oh, like the forest trail is like kind of leading into the cave.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it does also come with pretty much everything you need.
Yes.
To do
it
that.
comes with a cutout, right?
Yeah, comes with a cutout. Comes with ledges, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So like there are multiple ways that you can make it meet escarpments, but like it already kind of comes with what you need.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Wicked. Had a work meeting. What did I miss? We funded. It's been an interesting, like, we how many trail specs do you need to truly make a nice trail? Do they blend together well? There are like little trails on.
Two. You kind of just need the 2 trail packs, the main floor and then the other one.
Isn't there also like hints of trails on like the other floors too? But the trail
There's
pack
some
floors?
there's some hints like on the 3x6. Yeah.
Yeah, but the trail floors are just the ones where it's like here's a lot of trails.
Yeah. And that's
Like,
what I
yeah.
mean is that like you could do it with one of each of those because one of each of those packs is a 12x12.
We're less than 1K. Yeah, the original Dread Hollow floors have trails on them.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like so you do those original 6x6
Letitia
and then
added,
the other 6x6 from Wildlands.
Letitia
Yeah, so
added
12 by
Letitia
12.
added the photo of the two-headed croc in the swamp sample build with it. I didn't realize she had
Nice.
added that to the gallery. That's
Yes.
cute. We're getting so
Uh,
close to hitting this stretch goal. Also, one of the large swamp banks, a trail. There's so much. That's the thing. Like there's so
yeah,
many details.
Yeah, swamps are a little weirder though. Like I'm not saying that there isn't a trail in swamp, but swamp is a little bit more like some of that is just by nature the like, hey, this is mud or whatever swampland. So
It's also just like a nice way to have the trail terminate, like at a lake, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
just like dealing with it being muddy. Muck. Exactly. One of the weirdest Pokemon.
There are
Ready to add quite a few
trails,
LEDs. Oh yeah, dude, I love the standing stones. I guess that's another thing that's like nice about it. When we unlock one of these sets, then people who want it are like, cool, I'm gonna add that to my cart. And then we get like a little bump off of that. It's an interesting, I don't know, it's an
I
interesting.
love bumps.
Love bumps.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting thing to work with. 2 packs equals 12x12, so I need 8 packs total to fill a 24x24. If you want to fill the
if you
whole
want to
thing,
fill that, yeah, you're gonna need.
if you want the whole thing to just be those floors.
Yep.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, it's just the 2 6x6
Just
floors.
the
in
2
one
6
pack, Yeah.
You can mix in the open ground if you wanted to, but if you wanted specifically the ones that make trails, it's just those 2 packs of the
2-pack.
of the of
Oh,
the
I could
6x6s.
literally I could
You can show
literally
it.
just
Yeah,
go
just go
to-
scroll down to the forest floor, painted. So the forest floor is the dense.
Yeah, so the glades, like there's trails.
The glade has some trails, but like if you're trying to fill a 24x24 with as not to say as few
I'm making my cursor active.
few pieces as possible,
Yeah,
but
there's-
like
There's trail.
you're gonna want the dense. You're gonna want.
There's
not
trail
those
here.
two.
Trail here.
Yeah, I
And then
get
for
that.
dense woods.
There's trails on
Trail
those.
here, and then this is like a corner trail, and there's
Yeah.
also a little trail back here.
Yes.
Yeah, this trail like basically goes straight through and has a tree in the middle. And yeah, these just have like the most trail, like where it's like.
Well, that's
super
what I'm
visible.
saying is
Yeah.
that like between those don't have any. The open ground is just open ground, but
Yeah.
you could within the 2 dense woods and forest and the forest floors trails. Yeah, you're looking at
Hey.
you would have to get
We hit it.
2, 4, 6,
Boom.
8. Yeah, and that's about $1,000. No, wait, more than that because it's about 215 per, and so you'd have to do. Yeah, it's about 900 or something.
Standing Stones has been unlocked.
Hooray!
We did it.
We will go make
stretch
sure that
goal.
that go gets published right now.
If Letitia's watching, Letitia could publish
I mean,
it.
Letitia's probably watching, and she probably could publish, but I'm not going to force her to do it. But Letitia, if you are watching, and
That's
you
true.
can publish
Letitia's
it,
been
you should
working.
go ahead
Letitia's
and
been
do that.
working very hard.
I mean, like that's fine. You can go in there and
She got recently. Actually, if I refresh, oh, Terrain Field Guide. It's there. She got the
Yes.
she got the field guide live while this is up. So we took
Yes.
that. If you remember the field guide from the Wildlands Kickstarter, she made a new version of it that just has the pieces that are in this campaign.
Mhm.
Which I think also means that there's some pieces in here that weren't in Wildlands because we have some old pieces in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So that field guide, if you want to look at the pieces all very closely.
Yeah.
Table coverage is up too.
Nate's right, is that we designed it in a lot of the pieces. And I know I'm saying open ground doesn't necessarily have it, but he's also right. It does have some implied nature to it. And that's what I'm saying, is that it's like you could mix and match those things if you really wanted it to vary. But if you wanted strictly was what I was trying to say. So like Nate's correct though.
Yeah, Animation Giant, if you look at the anchor links on the side, the terrain field guide is on one of the anchor links, like right
You're up.
around. Oh, I can move this over so you can see it. If you look at
Anchor links.
if you
That's
look
the
at
other thing that I'm
yeah,
loving.
if you look at the anchor links, it's here. It's under like all the explore pages, right above shipping and taxes. It's like at the tail end of all this stuff.
Yup.
Yeah. What else did we have?
What's the next stretch goal? The next stretch goal, I believe, is the Fellborn trees, or is the Fairy Glade.
Fellborn trees, and then Fairy Glade is after that. So we're a little over halfway to Fairy Glade now. About
Fellborn.
2/3 of the way to Fellborn. No, we're a little over halfway to
I see
Fairy
what you're
Glade.
saying. Yeah.
2/3 of the way to Fellborn.
Basically, each
Seymour
stretch goal
Fellborn.
is about 50,000 apart.
Yes.
It's not even about. It's exactly.
I mean,
they're all exactly 50 apart.
hey, 100K in the first hour.
Yeah.
I think
We can. I mean,
I think we're gonna be good.
I think we're gonna be fine.
Like, I think this is
I think I was right.
we're well on track, actually.
Yeah. What was I worried about?
Okay.
Thank you, Nate.
We're gonna be okay.
But we've got let's just do a 5-minute countdown. Let's just say 5 minutes from now.
5 minutes to wrap up.
Yeah, 5 minutes to wrap up.
So at 110 we'll cut it.
Yeah.
Cool. And this is fascinating too. Like, average pledge higher than expected, and then like it's the
Yeah.
middle of the day, so I'm sure a lot of people, because this takes more work to actually put your pledge in.
It does.
So like, I think we're gonna see I think it's gonna be less hockey sticky,
Yeah.
but a more gradual.
I'm
Yeah.
all for gradual growth. Like, one of the other things I was noticing even about our updates, the daily updates we were doing this week, just like we can actually now finally see how many people are actually like clicking through. I guess we could kind of see with Kickstarter, but it was a lot more work. But we're actually like seeing how many people are engaging with our updates, which is really nice and really helpful. So that's one thing I'm curious about too, is like what kind of updates people would appreciate, or like what kind of updates would be like desired.
Look at me. Look at this. Letitia's already added it.
Wonderful.
And then is the unpainted there too?
It should be.
Not yet.
Oh, okay, yeah, we just gotta make sure.
Probably just forgetting. Yeah, so
No, it's all good. We'll just make sure.
the painted and unpainted are like separate listings. So
Yeah.
we just got to go in and like add that one as well.
No problem.
Makes you feel bad for not reading any of the updates? No, it's all good. The first update was like really the one that actually had like a lot of substance to it, because it was
Yeah.
just saying like every question you've been getting asked, we're just gonna like put it all in here.
Yeah.
And
That's what I mean. Is
yeah.
it like it's just been fun to like try to engage again, and
it's fun to work in this system.
Yeah.
And we know that we're not doing everything optimally. Like, we know that like we're still learning stuff, but like just messing around with it and like going like, oh, if we'd done this, then we could really do like a big thing.
Well, that's the thing with like even like the preview draft. We could do so much in the draft before we even touch the campaign version that like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very cool. It's been really fun getting to know this. Thank you, Casper Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess Nate's leaving too. Thanks
Yeah,
for coming by, Nate. Rest, feel better.
already
Just have a
gone.
couple more things. We're gonna have a how to pledge guide coming out later today. We're just fixing up a few things on it.
Yep.
So that'll hopefully help a few people who weren't able to make this stream, and we'll
Or
cover
even
like
if
some of
they're
the
if they're confused about any part of it, or if you're having some issues at any time, that video will help, as well as get in the comments.
Get in the comments.
Yeah. Just pull up Brandon
Yeah.
Lee Mulligan. Get in the comments, because he's got the.
Yes. Well, dude, reference humor. It's like
It's so good.
it's like the peak of humor.
Yeah. Thanks.
Let's see. I guess we're good. This is a weird thing to be doing. It's interesting.
Sure.
Seeing the different vibes.
Well, again, yeah, it'll be different for like sci-fi.
Hey, Elise is here.
Whoa!
Hey, Elise. Thank you.
Hello, goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Be sure to get in the comments to talk about the glory of Shake Shack over Five Guys. That's just the most absurd.
Okay.
It's just worse burgers. Shake Shack's got great
To you
shakes.
too, Elise. To you too.
Thank you, Elise.
To
It
talk
was
about the
it was
glory
nice.
of
It was
Shake
nice.
Shack
It was nice getting to see
Shake
you.
Shack is not. But yeah, let's talk. Yeah, it was nice to see Elise.
They're gonna do the pizza thing to us again.
Yeah, I know.
I'm actually getting mad about it. Okay,
You're getting
let's,
mad about Shake
yeah.
Shack over
Yes.
Five Guys?
Shake Shack is fine.
So is Five Guys. Five Guys is also just fine.
If you're talking about like, sure, but the burgers and fries are better than Shake Shacks.
No. Oh, well, yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Shake Shack, the shakes are fine. The shakes are great.
Yeah.
The concretes, like all that stuff, that's all great.
Yeah.
The burgers and fries are like,
I could take it or leave it.
they're like, yeah, they're big like family.
You might as well just be an ice cream shop.
They're big like family get together barbecue vibes. Like very much just like it feels like they just kind of got some stuff.
You know what's weird though?
What?
I feel like the barbecues I've been to is better food.
You probably are with people who are used to barbecue, who actually know how to make good barbecue.
Yeah.
But it feels like it feels like the soccer team barbecue. Like,
You were still
celebration.
right. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that I feel like that's why I'm like, God, Shake Shack sucks.
It doesn't.
Because-
Shake Shack doesn't suck.
It does. It does though, because it's not, I'm not gonna go to a place that's like we're burgers and fries, and then it's just like but you know what I really want.
Five Guys has also gone downhill a bit since it.
Oh yeah, since it got down to 4 guys.
Yeah, well, since they lost a guy.
they lost
Yeah.
the guy. It's gone downhill for sure.
Yeah, that was rough.
Five Guys gives you gluten-free fries for people with
Yes.
celiac.
That's
Hey,
ac-
you know
that's
what?
actually-
That's absolutely true.
That's actually a really cool thing they do. I haven't had a Shake Shack shake, but it's hard to beat the In-N-Out shakes that are $2.75. Dude, I never. At some point, I need to actually be somewhere with an In-N-Out so I can.
Yeah.
do the
Well,
meme.
go to LA.
I want to go down.
I think there's actually one off of I-5 on near Seattle. I was last time I was there.
Well, hey, I
recently,
might be there soon, so that'd be.
Yeah.
I'll get an Uber to go out.
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. Take an Uber from the convention center
Oh,
to
that's incredible though. Like, hey, company dime.
Just expense the whole thing to the company.
Yeah.
For my
Well, hey, you know,
In-N-Out trip.
Paizo's out there too.
True.
They're out in Redmond.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll have to hit them up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. This place in California called Super Duper Burger.
Oh,
that
wait.
goes over to
Before Zukin.
Current card will expire in 2 months. Assume they'll give me another. Yeah, if
yeah. If there's any issues with that, or even if you can preemptively change your card or whatever before that happens, and adjust your payment option, that should be totally fine. But again, if that does end up being an issue for you, please, let us know. We will try to keep paying attention to it as we can. But like, it seems like that should be totally fine. It should alert you before it'll like Kickstarter does that too, where it's like, hey, you've got a payment, but your card's not going through. We're gonna try again tomorrow. Can you fix that problem? Or like you can try again in another hour or whatever. They'll usually try to do something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think absolute worst case scenario, if something goes wrong, just contact us or GameFound.
Yes.
And like we will get you straightened out.
Exactly.
Like worst case scenario, you can always just like tell us and we'll figure it out.
Oh man, you remember Nips?
I do. I
miss it so much.
I
miss what it was. I guess is what I'm saying. Like I miss the feeling of going there.
Yeah.
When we were in high school.
Yes.
And it was just like,
yes,
it's the best place.
It would probably destroy me now.
I guarantee it was never good, and it's not good now.
If I ate one of those burgers, it's delicious. But if I ate one of those burgers now, it would mess me up for a week. If I'm being real,
we should do it.
We should.
We should do it. We should
Whenever
go back home and get a Nips burger.
Yeah, whenever we wind up back there.
Yeah.
A Nips burger and a butterscotch shake.
Yes, that was the best part.
Oh God.
All right.
Get the banner special.
Well, thank
Named
you.
after the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, does Whataburger is still around?
Yeah.
I've never gone, but it is still around. I hear people talk about it now.
No, it's dicey.
I like Five Guys. Their meat just isn't quite a part of Shake Shacks. That's they just have better meat than Shake. That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. The meat just objectively is better at Five Guys.
It is.
Like,
hey, Burgerville. Remember Burgerville?
Burgerville's pretty good.
It was pretty decent.
For a chain, like pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though?
What?
I liked Jack in the Box more. For whatever reason, Jack in the Box was the one that was like, out of everything, I was like, if I'm gonna eat a fast food burger, I'm gonna get Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box is the
idiot. Jack
in the Box I only ever got when we were going to Seahawks games because there was one close to the stadium.
Oh, sure.
Let's see.
Will there be another stream around this? Yes, next week's
burgers?
OTA, I believe.
OTA is going to be all free building with this stuff and doing that.
Yeah.
Also, like looking at how it goes, we might add a couple streams. I don't know. We're trying not to. We're trying to see what it looks like to take it easier.
Yes.
But yeah, if it seems like there's some stuff that it would be helpful to like do some event streams for, we might try to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Keenan. Yeah, I was gonna say you're a Portland kid too, right? So I was like, yeah, that's over. They've got the Tillamook cheese.
We have a dedicated food discussion time to stream tonight. Dedicated food discussion is basically just the hobby hang,
Yeah.
which will still be happening tonight. Hobby hang will be on
Yes.
tonight at 6.
Yes, we'll probably actually be there too.
Maybe, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. Cool.
We'll see
All
how
right.
Hamster feels about it. He'll be like, you guys already
160K.
got your stream today.
Yeah.
You guys can't come on
160K.
mine.
All right. Oh, Burgerville's fancy fast food. Yeah. They got pretty good
I
shakes,
mean,
too.
yeah, honestly, yeah.
All right, we need to.
We should actually
Yeah,
go.
no, hobby
We're
hang
having a
is-
great time. It's just like we should.
We are. Well, the stress is all off now.
Yeah.
Which I think is the main thing.
Well, that was what we were. I mean, like, huge shout out to Letitia,
Yes.
to you, to the entire video team, to basically anybody who was actively taking photographs or helping color correct, all these things. Because I could sit there on a spreadsheet and blah, 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 blah numbers, but like there's a lot of back end stuff that like having Letitia know what she knows and having everybody else be like really on top of like how to make these processes go smoother is honestly the only reason that this went as well as it did.
Yeah, like we churned this thing around in 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, which is really wild. And it's doing all right. Imagine if we actually put 6 months and more resources into it, you know?
We wouldn't even need 6 though. That's the funny
Yeah.
thing. Like
the way it's set up,
for
yeah.
something like this, like we did this in 2, and this still is turning out the way it is, and that was a new system. So from this point on, we have the education we already have about this system. If we do it again, we can do it in 4.
It'll be easier
And
for
I
us to set
feel
it
like
up again.
4
yeah.
would be like a perfect amount of time because that's also how I would want this to be set up for restocks in general. That's my perspective on this is that like about every 4 months we start talking about it or like reviewing what's around. Like, do we need to do an actual pre-order or can we just do a regular restock?
And we already know, like, we already have several ideas for, like, what more of these could be.
That's what I mean. Is that
Yeah.
like I would the regularity of this to me is more about like how do we make it like this is a lot of sets for the first one is a big thing. This is a lot of things for the first one, and we're like, this is probably the largest it would ever get for one of these projects.
Because we're trying to do the
I would
entire...
much rather do like half this size, especially just because of people's wallets.
Because Wildlands was like our biggest Kickstarter with like so
Yeah.
many sets
Yeah.
and to get that back. So the next ones will probably be smaller, but you know, with Dungeons, it's like there's gonna be some new core sets, you know, with
Yeah.
and some new pieces. With this, it's just like we're trying to reorder like 50 something sets.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank
So,
you everyone
yeah.
for the congratulations. And Hippo, you can't say that, man. You can't treat me like this. He's not gonna put me in my place. Hamster's too nice. He won't do anything like that.
yeah. At this point, Finley. At this point, it's basically just about making sure that people hear about it and know about it and have the information they need.
Yep.
And yeah, that's basically it.
Yep.
Okay, let's get out of here. We'll probably have an update tonight, like a brief update.
Yeah, we might save it for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just let the project sit for a second and everything. But there's an opportunity for us to make an update tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it after. So.
Sick. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you all later.